It's been a while since we've caught up with a bop or flop on all the albums that have been releasing recently. Harry Styles, Bruno Mars, Yeba, the list goes on, and we are going to go through them all today and do a little bit of a quick fire review on things. Jono, it's been a couple weeks since we've caught up. How are you?
Yeah, I know. Missed you. I'm good. I am ready for spring and summer.
Sounds like the start of West End Girl.
I know. And you've been cheating on me in Australia. Oh my god, we also should talk about West End Girl, the tour, if you've heard much about it.
I have heard things about it as well. Yeah, I feel like this episode is going to serve as just like a general catch up on like things that we've missed over the past couple of weeks, because as well as there being like Harry Styles and Bruno Mars records, there's been like a bunch of stuff going on, and we haven't spoken since we did Harry Styles ranking episode.
Yeah.
So maybe this is the right point to catch up. But before we get into it all, if you like the Pop Pod, you should follow us wherever you're listening to it, or subscribe if they use that language wherever you are. You can also join the Discord to chat more pop music. And if you want to email us with any voice notes, questions, anything like that, you can do that below, or you can just DM me as well. I've actually asked you guys for questions for today on my Instagram, and you've sent through a bunch, so we are going to do some of them as well. John, I haven't told you that, but we have some questions to read out. Perfect. So what we're going to do is we'll just start talking about the albums. We are going to start with Harry Styles, because that is the most pressing one right now. I haven't asked your opinions of it. You have been hopefully avoiding my opinions of it. So this will all be fresh news for us.
I cannot believe we have saved this for the pod. I've been itching to talk to you about it, and every time I've gone to message, I'm like, no, save it for the pod. So you're welcome, listeners.
So difficult. And I feel like it's something that we've had to do more and more recently now, because usually when an album comes out, like Jono's probably the first person I'll talk to about it, and like we'll go back and forth with thoughts. So this has been quite an exercise of silence. I don't even know where to start, but I've been talking about this album so much. So let's just start with your general feelings. How did you feel after the first listen to it?
The first listen to it, I was like, oh, okay, I need to go into a dictionary, because occasionally it's been completely redefined to mean not at all. I can't hear any disco on the album, but I feel like that's the general consensus. And I feel like I haven't seen any of your content, but one of my friends said, I told her that, and she was like, I think Sam agrees. And I was like, oh, great, I've avoided it now. It's already been spoiled. But that's the only thing I know of what you've said. But I thought it was a good album. I was like, it's definitely enjoyable. I didn't think there were any massive flops or anything I hated initially. But the marketing, I just feel like it's so mismarketed, the way it was presented, and only releasing that first single and then the album, the rollout doesn't make any sense. The title doesn't make any sense to me. But those things aside, that was my first initial listen. I was like, good, but what the hell is this album cover and title doing with this album?
Yeah, that was my first thought exactly as well. I think I thought that Aperture was going to be a jumping point, and from there he was going to delve further into this kind of club world, of which he doesn't do, I would say, at all. I think that like Aperture and maybe Carla's song, the last one, he explores it a little bit more, but like mostly this is not that at all. No. I'm wondering where to start with my thoughts, but a lot of the issues that I had with Aperture, I have with the whole album. To be honest, just to like go straight out there, I think that like my issues with Harry Styles and this lingering question in my head of, is he interesting enough to get the accolades and the attention that he does? I think my question's been answered, and the answer is no, because this is like so... it's like a lot of words to say nothing, this whole album. Like, I don't understand what he's trying to say other than he kind of wants to be more alternative than he's been positioned as. Like, LCD Sound System is all over this album. There's just like a moroseness to his voice on the whole album, which really frustrates me. And like, it steps back even more so than Harry's House, because Harry's House, like, when I think of him yelling into the chorus of like Music for a Sushi Restaurant, like, you know, I love you, babe. Like, there's none of those lightning bolt moments on this album. And like, I promise you now, I'll put down like $1,000. There is not another hit on this album. Like, there's not going to be one, because there's nothing like captivating. People are already losing interest in it. Like, the streams dropped massively over the weekend.
Yeah.
It just doesn't have like a wow factor. And I really wanted to like, I did want to hear more about this experience that he's been having like in the club in Berghain, like dancing and just like feeling community and stuff. And he's talked about it a bit in interviews, but it's not on the album at all. And there's only one song that goes into real specifics, and I think like is quite good lyrically, which also happens to be my least favorite song, which is Paint by Numbers.
I knew that would be your least favorite. Classic.
But yeah, that's the only moment that I was like, oh, he's telling us something. I don't know. I just think people are realizing now that maybe we've gone a little too easy on him and he's coasting at this point, because I just don't think this album does anything exciting, and I certainly don't think we'll be talking about it by the end of the year.
Yeah, okay. I completely agree with you on some of your points, definitely. But it sounds like, what do you think about the actual music? Like, apart from the themes and his voice, like, do you think it's like a good album, and do you like the music?
I think it's nice. I don't think there's much cohesiveness to it. I don't think it really makes sense too much as an album, but I think there are individual points that I really love. I think American Girls, bar the lyrics, is really good. I think that Taste Back is really good. This is the one that really, like, I think could have been so good to delve into more, is Ready, Steady, Go, because the production on that is amazing. Like, vocally, it's the most exciting one on it. Like, he's doing so many different things, and I'm like, oh, you're like there, you're right in the pocket right now. And then it just goes back to doing like more of what he was doing on Harry's House. And I'm like, oh, you were so close. And I also think Carla's song has elements of that as well, where I'm like, oh, you're really getting there. The issue is that I don't really dislike any of the songs. Paint by Numbers, I don't really like, but that's just a personal taste thing, I think. Most of it I think is nice to listen to, and I'll happily throw it on. But maybe the ambivalence is the biggest problem, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I do know what you mean, totally. I feel like it should have been called like Road Trip All the Time, Petrol Occasionally, or something, or Over Occasionally, because it's such a road trip album. Like, it's nice in the background, you'd be humming along, like singing at certain points, but it's not like I probably also was so sure in all our conversations it was going to be a 1-2 punch for huge second disco dance single and then a dance album.
I thought the same thing.
And then I was like, I'm so wrong.
If you'd played me American Girls and be like, this is the second single, I would have been like, what? Like, what's the plan here? I mean, American Girls is very good, but it's not the sucker punch that we were expecting.
Yeah, exactly. I think the album is a really good album. I think it's a really nice album. I think
really good is a stretch.
Well, very good. But
that's even better.
No, really good is
exceptional.
Well, it's a perfect 10 out of 10 album. But I think the marketing's really fucked it a bit. And the way he's spoken about it has fucked it a little bit. But to be honest, to your point that I agree with, is it controversial to say, would be more than happy for this to flop and for him to get a bit of a shake up, because I don't feel any kind of hunger or risk taking in the album, which obviously we've spoken about, that we like that side of him and we want to see more of. I think he's been already a bit more risk taking than you do. So I kind of want it to flop and I want that hunger from him, and maybe for his label or whoever is, potentially holding him back, because we obviously don't know behind the scenes if they're like, you can't release a dance record completely, to allow him the space to do that, because he can pull it off. Like he could release a super experimental album and it would probably do really similar numbers. Like it doesn't really matter.
It definitely would. I mean, this would have been the album to do it on. But what I'm starting to think at this point is like, I'm projecting too much on him to expect that he has it in him to do something like that, because I really don't think he does now. Like a lot of these lingering questions I've had and these frustrations of like, oh my God, can he just like, he's so close. Can he just like do something experimental or just really go out on a limb? And now I'm like, why am I projected? Like, I just need to go find this in a different artist, because this is not the artist for it right now. Like my Harry Styles hopes and desires are gone at this point.
I think it's just right now though, because Harry's House, he got lauded for this style of music. So like,
yeah, but
I feel
yeah.
he's
I mean,
gonna
I guess that is the problem, that Harry's House was so praised. But Harry's House had singles. Like Harry's House, for the boring middle part of Harry's House, like it had those really like strong moments to pull you back in. Whereas by the time you get to like 6 or 7 on this album, you're like, oh my God. And then you're waiting around for the most interesting bit, which ends up being like Dance No More, which is like kind of on the nose and quite annoying at the same time, I think. And then he does these like crazy lyrics like respect your mother, but he does it in the most morose, like doesn't care voice. I'm like, give me some Robbie Williams rock DJ, like give me some I just want to like shake him.
I knew you would have
he's
this
so
opinion.
frustrating.
I knew it.
But I am pretty sure, in my opinion, that people are going to not they're not gonna care about this album, which might be the biggest issue. Like it would be better if he released an album with songs like Rock DJ on it that people hated. This album needed to be his Rude Box, I feel like.
I agree. I just think I like the album a lot more than you. And the more I play it, the more I think it is a really good album. It's just the initial shock of how terrible it was positioned before it was released has died down a bit, and now I'm listening to it for what it is. And he
said something today which I want to discuss with you. He said in an interview, I don't want this record to be like, I want you to hear all about what I've been experiencing. My hope is that you experience it for yourself. It's like, okay, but it's your album. We're pressing play on your album to hear your experience. Like, it's not my job to like find my own experience within this well of just like non-specifics. That's like my issue with him to a T.
I know, here we go, specific stuff again. I do think the theme is existentialism, and you can tell from how it runs that he is in an existentialist.
Yeah, but he's not like
right.
There's nothing if that is the main theme, it's not delivered, discussed, or explored well at all. Because this is what I've been hearing all the fans saying, and I'm like, yeah, but give me a lyric, or give me a moment where that's really well done, because I can't think of a single one.
I think Coming Up Roses does it quite well, and
Coming Up Roses is quite good.
Yeah. But I do think you're right in his voice doesn't have much punch. Although that's actually my problem with American Girls. The chorus irritates me because it does that thing where it doesn't go anywhere. I'm like, do something different. when you repeat
Yeah.
American Girls to Build. But yeah,
But I think that's purposeful, this,
so
because
ravable about this album.
he like he does have the voice. Like, we've heard the voice. So it's not that he
Yeah.
can't do it. This is like purposeful. And I think part of it is that he is inspired by lyricists, like by artists like Tame Impala or LCD Sound System, that do this kind of morose like sound. But with them, it really like leans into the fact that they are alternative and they do have these kind of like nonsensical lyrics. Whereas to take that style and bring it into this more like polished pop sound, it just doesn't really make sense. Like, he could have really gone off on the American Girls chorus. There's no need for him to just like be so one note and so like flatlined on it.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree at that point. But safe to say,
I guess if I'm taking the album as like if I'm just judging what I've got in front of me and not thinking any more about it, like, it's fine. It's a pretty good album. If I'm thinking about everything the album could have been, then I'm starting to get frustrated.
Yeah, I think that's where the positioning of the marketing is. Like, it wasn't. No one, I think, expected this album from what came in the rollout.
Someone said to me today, it's not an album, it's not a dance album, it's an album about dancing. And I was like...
Well, I was actually like, I don't really understand how the dance element even comes into it. Because if you take away the first and last song, there is basically no dancing. I do think it will be it'll be so much better live, because hopefully it'll give a much better vocal performance live and like give it the oomph that a lot of it needs from that element, if that makes sense.
I did see a clip of Ready Steady Go at that like one night only thing he did in Manchester, and I had to stop it because it was making me dislike the song. And that's my favorite song right now.
Oh my god! Well, I'm seeing him this year, so I'm seeing him with Robin, so it's gonna be quite a double act.
They're both in there like being hated on air as well. I will probably see the show. I'll be interested in seeing it. Yeah. But I want more from him.
Yeah, I do want more too.
And saying I know he has more to give, that's thinking shifted to like, I don't know if he has more to give at this point.
I think he does, and I think he will give it. I think honestly, if this flops the way that it potentially will, I mean, flop in like his way of flopping, I'll be more hopeful for more experimental or more,
Yeah, he needs like a lightning bolt, and maybe an album not performing super well will be that for him.
Yeah, it's kind of like Miley. She kind of lost a lot of love for some of her music, but she went down the very experimental art pop route, whereas this was maybe the time he could have done that and didn't take it.
I mean,
but the more I listen
would have
to
loved
it,
for this to be his Something Beautiful moment.
I know, something beautiful, something ugly occasionally. I would love. This is like a grower, though. I think the more you listen to it, the better it gets.
Oh, it's done the opposite on me, if I'm being honest. I listened to it again this morning before this, and I was like, I think this might be my last go.
Oh my god, classic. I listened to it twice.
And we were saying how we were so confident this would be second in my Harry Styles album.
Yeah,
I'd probably put it as last right now.
Not last. That is not true. Right now, yeah, but you won't eventually.
We'll see.
Okay. Any last words on Harry Styles before you never speak of him again, apparently?
Harry Styles is banned from this podcast from this point onwards. Unless he releases a full dance album, he's banned.
You know what? I was actually thinking this is so prime for Fred again to just remix the whole album, and then everyone will be like, "Oh, this is actually what we wanted and
No,
better than."
honestly. Also, what was with Fred again previewing Coming Up Roses at his show? And I was like, oh, he's definitely a producer on it. He's not on any of the songs.
Oh, well, I thought he did produce or co-write one of them, but maybe he
Did he? But definitely not Coming Up Roses.
Oh, maybe. I'm not sure. I haven't even looked into it really.
Coming Up Roses is the only one Harry wrote by himself, which, considering that's one of the best ones lyrically, maybe he needs to get rid of everybody else.
Well, and also he sounds convincing on it, maybe because he's
Yeah.
singing what he wants to. So it's like, take that and push that further. Like, his voice sounds the best on Coming Up Roses. I think that's why it was one of my immediate tops.
It's because he's not, it doesn't sound like he's trying to be cool or like he's just doing him. I don't know. Anyway.
Okay.
Enough.
Let's move
on. Let's move on to another mediocre male, Bruno Mars, who's released The Romantic, his new album. This is his first solo album since 24K Magic, which is crazy. It's also his first solo album to ever debut at #1 in the US. Isn't that wild?
I had no idea about this. I saw this and I was like, what?
It's always, his albums have always been blocked at #1. I don't understand how. I think another album got to #1 eventually, but this is the first one to debut at #1.
I guess the thing is, he's such a global star. I think sometimes I think of his power as like, it's actually not that US centric compared to other artists, maybe.
Yeah. This album, I've been thinking about this album a lot in context of the Harry Styles album as well, because I feel pretty like the same about this album as well. Like, I feel like both albums are not really giving too much, but I feel less frustrated about this one, maybe because I have less expectations for what a Bruno Mars record should be. Like, this is him just recreating a bunch of like vintage genres over again, like doing a pretty good job. Interestingly, it's like way more mid-tempo than all his other albums. Yeah. And I think the kind of way that it strips the fun back is what makes this a little hard to get through in the end, because it's like, oh, pretty good song, pretty good song, pretty good song. And then by 9 tracks, you're like, how is this only 9 songs? It feels like it's been going forever. But yeah, again, like, this is a pretty...
You struggling to get through, what, a 30-minute album?
Yeah, it's so short. I don't know. I don't really have much to say about this album other than, like, it's completely fine. What did you feel?
Yeah, I said, like, forgettable. I said safe in all capitals. Like, it's so safe. You know what, though? When he does... I like Bruno. I think he's charming. He's got a good voice. Obviously incredibly talented.
I feel the same.
But it's the same thing where there's no fucking hunger. Like, think of any pop girl right now. They're starving. Whether it's like someone up and coming, like... Yeah. Well, not up and coming, like... But, you know, like Zara Larsson or Chapel or Doechii or anyone, Jade, they're all so invested and so hungry. Yeah. And same as like Gaga and Beyonce, like the legends aren't the resting on their laurels either. And like, I don't know what it is with the men. No one's hungry. They're all full. They're like, nah, this is just like a small piece of chocolate after the meal because whatever.
I think the expectations are just are so low in comparison. I think that's why. Yeah. I don't think they have the same amount of pressure put on them. And I think because of that, they coast a bit more. Like, if you think about somebody who like Troye Sivan, I think that he has more pressure put on him and he always delivers. Like, he always gives something different. Yeah. Whereas I think giving Harry's House Album of the Year and 24K Magic Album of the Year, actually, like both of them, was kind of like you're doing well, just keep doing it sort of thing. And they took that and they were like, you know what, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. And it just gets a little bit boring. I think even more so in Bruno's case because he's had over 10 years to like try and come up with something new, and he
Yeah.
hasn't. What I find so interesting is that he had Uppity and he had Die With A Smile, like two of his biggest hits ever.
Ever.
And arguably two of his more like, I don't know, compared to this album, they've got much more gusto. I don't know why, with that knowledge of how well those songs did, he went into this being like, maybe I should just dull that down a little bit. It doesn't make sense.
30 minutes or 31 minutes and 9 songs. I was like, this is an EP.
More than enough, as it turns out.
I really like Risk It All, the opening track. And
Yeah, so
I
do
would
I.
love if he leaned into that, like, do an album with, what's his name? Peso Pluma?
Peso Pluma.
Peso
Yeah.
Pluma. Do that
Yeah.
vibe. Like, he can pull off any of those genres. But exactly what you said. There's no, like, skips, but I'm not, like, I'd have to be pretty drunk to be like, let's put on the romantic. Like, I don't know.
I think the thing is too, like, if you're not going to offer a single detail about your life, like not one, there's not anything on this album that is remotely specific. You have to put all that character into the music. And the last few songs in particular, I just don't think have any character at all.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like, what am I here for? Like, is this just like some badly done tributes of like Motown music? Because that's what it basically ends up being, you know?
Also, I'm just like, I have no intelligence really when it comes to music. I just have opinions because it's fun. But like, just double the length of this album and do 9 songs that are more fun and experimental, and then that's all you have to do. It'd probably take you a day. I don't know. I'm just like, it's not that difficult.
Probably take you a day.
Like,
it took him 10 years to get
a
these 9
mariachi
songs
band
together. I don't think it's going to
just
take
sing
him.
ooh ooh on some of them, and that's fine. That's enough. Like, anyway.
I would love Bruno to just do like a pop 2 kind of vibe, go into the studio for a week and just put out exactly what he comes up with in that week.
Yeah.
You know? I know that he's got it in him. Like, I know that he's probably a master in the studio and he's probably just like, why do I want to say freelancing? What's the word? Freestyling. I know he has it in him to be a little bit looser. I don't know. This album is just so tightly like stitched together. It's bizarre.
Not freelance becoming a new genre of music. Like, oh, what's on the freelance charts?
These albums are so boring that I'm starting to bring like business terms into it.
But yeah, I was going to ask you what your favorite album of Q1 is. Obviously, I'm the same with business.
Oh yeah, it's so many to choose from. I'm gonna have to get back to you on that. We were joking before the pod started that Q1's been so slow that like our claim that Madison Beer's album of the year is probably still true.
Madison has literally been one of the most listened to albums for me. Yes, baby, I guarantee you will end up on my top 10 on Spotify Wrapped. I almost guarantee you. Yeah, because I play it in the gym now.
Since.
So I literally like, it's the number 1 song on my gym playlist. And if anyone wants a gym bang up, put on Yes Baby, because that's what I
That's true. That's true.
walk for 10 minutes to, and then go home and lie on the couch for 5 hours afterwards.
Any last thoughts on Bruno, or can we move on?
No. Let's lock the key on the safe. But good for him. I like him. He's getting that cash that he apparently needs to get out of debt from, so fair.
The next album, Yeba, Jean. Yeba hasn't released an album for about 4 years. She's now come back like pretty quickly with Jean in that it was a very fast rollout. The first single came out like 2 weeks ago and she's already put the album out. I think Yeba is very slept on in general. I loved her album Dawn. And now she's given us Jean. This is like, I know that we were joking about Madison Beer being album of the year. This is my true album of the year so far. I was just like so taken by the the sequencing of this album and the way that it like starts really soft and then just like takes you into this really muddy sort of hypnotic kind of rock infused world and then pops you out at the end with these more like moments of clarity. I also think the subject matter on this album is really interesting, particularly when she talks about the kind of frustration, like she lost her mum just as she was starting to break as a musician and starting to do really well. And she talks about this kind of like frustration in feeling like she wasted that time by grieving, but also like wanting to like obviously honor that time and like honor her mum's memory and like remember all that stuff. And I was just like, this is such a intense and really complex subject matter to delve into appropriately. And I got it like straight away from the first listen. I just think it's like really an amazing album, like by somebody who just has the most phenomenal voice. What did you think of this?
She does have a phenomenal voice, and you are right. I feel like she is so underrated and slept on. But I maybe not as optimistic about this album as you are.
Really?
Okay, here's the thing. The first 4 songs, beautiful. Like, I was fully in there.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad that she takes it somewhere else because it is much more interesting, but it just then doesn't have that replay value for me. Like, honestly, 5 to 8 of the album, like the tracks, I like didn't have anything to sink my teeth in from like the melodies or the hooks or like even her sound as good to me. I know.
But the last like 4 songs are phenomenal in my opinion.
I only really like Waterfall in after the first 4 songs. Those like
You don't like those last 4. I feel like you need to give this more time.
I know. I probably do. And also I do really like her. I didn't know the subject matter, so obviously I can relate because of Dead Parents Club. So maybe I should, and the anger that comes with grief.
Yeah,
I
now
think
you
it's
can go
just
back
like,
and
yeah, I'll be like, I get you, yeah. But I just think I listened to, and you'll appreciate this because I know this is one of your favorite albums that you actually got me onto it. I listened to I Speak Because I Can by Laura Marlin the
yeah.
other day. And the first
Love
4
that album.
songs just made me feel like this is going down that track. And then obviously it didn't. And that's
Yeah.
fine. But I think that's where I was listening to it. I was just like, I just wanted a whole melancholic, probably like more
Yeah.
somber acoustic album.
So I get that because I felt the same way the first time I listened to it. And I was getting a little bit like edgy when she was in the middle because I was like, please go back to what you were doing at the start. And
Yeah.
then she does with the last couple songs. And now that I know that she does that, when I went back like second and third time, I was like, oh, okay, I actually really love what she does in the middle here in taking it into the. It just really works as an album. Like, and I like how there's actually only I think 9 full songs on this, but the track list is 14 songs.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like short little. I just loved it, honestly. I think it's so far ahead of any of the other albums that we're going to talk about today. Actually, bar one of them.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
I do. It does feel like a piece of art to me, this album. And I do feel like it would be like a critic's darling, which kind of makes sense as to why you like it quite a lot and probably appreciate it more than I do. Coming from maybe like a, I don't know, like dumber, like more basic listener perspective. I don't know. It just doesn't like. Yeah.
It's just, I want you to go back and listen just one more time.
I've listened like 3
when I got
times,
to those
though.
last 3 songs, like I was on a bus listening to this, and I was honestly like about to tear up. I was just like so overcome by
Finally
what she
not
does.
humble bragging. Normally you're like, oh, I was at the Arias interviewing celebrities listening to this. Now you're like, I was on a bus. Finally, back down to earth.
Riches to rags, unfortunately. Anyway.
Identified you were fuming your grief of a limo. You were like, I get this, yeah, pal.
It's the best melody I've ever heard on a helicopter.
I'll go back and listen, but I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know if
Okay.
it's gonna
That's
be received
surprising to me that you don't
generally.
like that. I don't want to think that you could like Harry's album more than that.
Well, I do. So
It's the British and American thing all over again.
also, I don't want to hear Harry Styles say American again. Like, I feel like he says it 50 times in the album.
Oh, you know what makes me want to be physically ill that he says? It's something about tickling her stomach or something like that. He says, "And are you listening yet?" I was literally like,
You. Someone's gonna clip this and think that I don't like the album, so I just want to make it clear I do. Okay.
But what do you think of "Are You Listening Yet?" Because that song sucks, surely.
It's definitely one of my lesser faves.
Okay. We did kind of align on our favorites, which is rare.
Yeah, what was yours though? I can't remember.
Mine's "Ready, Steady, Go."
Yeah.
Probably "Coming Up Roses" and Carla's song.
Yeah.
And "Taste Back."
Yeah. I just think Taste That anyway. He could do more with his voice.
Yeah,
in
but
the
I feel
chorus.
that way about every single
I
song.
know,
So
I know.
it's
Okay,
like-
we're not going back to it. Next.
Let's move on to Leanne. Leanne has released her debut album, which is called "My Ego
Told Me.
Told Me To." Yeah. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on, so I can't read. But this is obviously, she is the last Little Mix, well, apart from Jessie, the last Little Mix member to release her debut album. She's the first one to do it independently. It's been a bit of a tough ride for Leanne, I think.
Yeah.
She hasn't really had a big hit. She certainly hasn't had the same amount of interest that Jade has had surrounding her project. And Perry, for some reason, like had a lot of initial buzz when she came out, which I found interesting because I don't think Leanne's really missed in terms of singles. I'm not saying that I've been like, oh my God, she hasn't had like a Angel of My Dreams, and I don't want to like keep comparing her to the Little Mix members because I think they've all offered up pretty different projects, but she hasn't had a single that I've been like, holy crap, like this is crazy good. But this album plays well, I think. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I'm so rooting for Leanne. To be fair, all three, I was about to say all the members, all three sort of remaining Little Mix members, have like actually performed quite well in terms of like any solo artists from a like girl group. I think they all got number 3 in the UK from their albums.
Yeah, literally every single one of them debuted at 3.
Yeah, which I feel really sorry for Leanne in a way, and also like proud of her, just because she is up against the hardest mountain to climb. Perry had so much fame from, I think, like a relationship with Zayn, and in America, I think maybe had an easier footing.
And also she's got the best voice, like pretty, like objectively, I think has the strongest voice in the group.
Yeah, I mean, probably. I guess it's
in terms of like traditional, like
traditionally. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, and Jade obviously had the queer community in the palm of her hands before she even released Angel of My Dreams. So
yeah,
I think they both had a much. I keep comparing them, which is not fair. Basically, I just feel like Leanne's paid dust and she was really talented. And you hear that in the album, obviously, when she does the like star interlude, and like you can see the themes of her being like, you know, I am the star. I do think there's a hit on the album, which is Most Wanted. It's such a bop. Feel like if Tyler released it, it would be a bloody number 1.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with this album. Like, it goes into a lot of Caribbean and Afrobeat sounds.
Yeah.
And I think if she was positioned from the beginning as that kind of artist, I think that this album would be really celebrated. But because she has this background of Little Mix, and also the label kind of pushed her in this direction with Don't Say Love, the first single, it kind of muddied the waters a bit in terms of what she actually is. Even though ever since Don't Say Love, she's been pretty like persistent on this sound.
Yeah.
And has given some actual bangers. Like I think My Love is so good. Obviously that's not on the album, but there's like plenty of other great ones on here. Like Been a Minute, I think is a really good single. I think that Good Night, Good Morning,
Goodbye, Good Morning,
is really strong as well. Like I just think, for some reason she's not getting the attention that she deserves, and maybe it's because there's a little bit of confusion about the musical stylings, or just that generally like pop fans don't gravitate towards this kind of music, and the fan base that she's starting out with is not really like
I mean, that
accustomed to this.
That is a really good point, actually, because that could definitely be an element. I did find sometimes one criticism I would have is sometimes like maybe her voice is too polished on the album, and I think that's probably a repercussion of being in a girl group where you're harmonizing and you actually want to make it sound perfect together. You know, like some of the songs really sound like Rihanna could be performing like the singer, and like some of the production, like what is it? Dead and Gone sounds so much like a Rihanna song. But I think some of the conviction maybe could be slightly better, which I think is just a result of being in a group. But it's such a promising album. I actually really like it. When I've listened to it a few times now, and when I listened to it again today, I was like, this is objectively such a solid album. Like, I don't think many people could fault this. And like you say, I think a lot of the maybe lesser success is from the contextual elements you've been talking about. But I'm rooting for Leanne, and it's really exciting for how she's positioning herself as a solo artist, I think. It suits her, like, this lane.
It totally suits her. And I completely agree with you. Like, it is a good listen from start to finish. And definitely, like, obviously I love Jade's. But this one is really strong in its own right. As well, I do like totally agree with you on the vocal stuff as well. I feel like maybe if there was just a bit more grunt at points. I actually was listening to Man Down this morning. Rihanna like came up on one of my playlists, and I was like, God, the way that she just bodies the delivery of this song just totally makes it. And I can't help but think that a song like Dead and Gone could be elevated to another level if she just like gave it a bit more grit. But that's like a small... just a small like point on what is otherwise a pretty great album.
That's basically the only criticism I could find. Like, genuinely.
Yeah, the songs are all there. Like, the songs are genuinely very good.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on from that one and on to Hilary Duff, who has released her first album in like 11 years or something. It's called Luck ... or something. And I'm not just saying or something like I've been saying or something a million times. That's actually what it's called. She did the whole thing with her husband, whose name is leaving me right now, but he is a producer known for working in like the alternative world, and he's also worked with people like Carly Rae Jepsen, which I think you can really hear on this album.
100%.
The surprise for me has been, and this is not because I don't think she deserves it, it's just surprising because I didn't know it was there. I didn't know how many people loved Hilary Duff, and I have learnt that in the past 2 weeks because people are fair all over her comeback. It's insane.
Oh,
and like
God.
the nostalgia for Lizzie McGuire and stuff, I just don't think I ever had a connection with her beyond like thinking So Yesterday and Come Clean were bops. Like, I don't really have much memory of Lizzie McGuire, to be honest. And so I guess when I take the nostalgic element out of this album, for me, there's not a lot to grab onto. What I am impressed by is the lyrical specificity that's here. Like, I think Harry could learn a thing or two.
Oh, here we go.
She's singing about on this. But outside of that, it's just like it starts to feel like the same song over and over again. It gets quite bland. And I also just think at times her voice is just not quite strong enough to pull off some of the things she's trying to do. So I
I
kind of left
disagree
this
on the
being like,
voice, actually.
okay, really?
I feel like I'm the same. Sorry to cut you off. I'm the same with you about I wasn't a Hilary Duff stan when I was younger. I was actually a Neva Roberts unfabulous stan. Which probably says a lot about me. Um, but I think her voice surprised me so much with how good it was. Obviously, I know she's like a good singer, but I listening to it, I was like, yeah, really surprised at how.
But I feel like just a small breeze and it would blow away.
No, that's Diana Ross performing at Glastonbury, and it did blow away in a small light breeze.
I saw Diana Ross last year and I thought she was doing very well.
Oh, it must have been
For
0
80
miles per
years
hour in
old.
the wind then. Because
It was a very calm day.
I know, I'm being so mean. It was
That is a legend.
I know, Diana. Well, speaking of legend, Hilary Duff, she could sing in a strong breeze, I think.
Hilary Duff is not
Hilary
quite
Duff.
in the same sentence as Diana Ross.
Diana Ross. And storytelling's really good. Like growing up, The Optimist, her storytelling's really spot on, I think. But I do agree, it's not a groundbreaking album. It does kind of sound like Carly Rae B-sides throughout a lot of it. But the production's really good and I like it. But I
think I will say like about the storytelling, like as much as I really like the lyrics, sometimes it gets too wordy to the point where it does feel like it exposes some of the weaknesses in her voice. Whereas I feel like the songs where she can be a little bit more elongated with what she's singing are potentially stronger. But people just freak out about these albums too much, and everybody was going nuts about this album, and now it's been 2 weeks and no one's talking about it. So like,
I was going to say, I've not really heard a peep about it, to be honest.
no, because it's just not that good. And this like weird quarter of music is making people elevate albums that really aren't that good because they've got nothing else. Am I just in a cranky mood today? I feel a bit nasty.
No, I think the bar is low because we're all dying of thirst for something. Because I think most years we've had it. Like Dua Lipa or Bad Bunny or something's all been quite early in the year and you have that excitement. But
if The Life of a Showgirl came out next week, I'd be singing its praises from the mountaintop.
I do think this is a good album, though. I think if Carly Rae released this as a B-sides album, people would be lapping it up in the same way. So I do think it's also a good album.
Carly does these like if you think about something like The Loneliest Time, she did have songs that were similar to this style, but then she also had things like The Loneliest Time and like Western Wind and like all different styles, whereas this is so far in one direction the whole time that it just like by the last track I was like I honestly couldn't tell you what differentiated the middle of this album because it all kind of got lost in one stream for me.
Yeah, there's no super standouts. Yeah, that's a fair point.
No,
I agree with you.
There was one song I really liked. I think Weather for Tennis ended up really growing on me in the end.
It's good. It's really good. Mature's good. I think that was that the lead single? Oh, I can't remember. People are going crazy for the tickets. One of my friends,
this is like literally wild to me.
She was like, it'll ruin my year if I don't get tickets to her show. And I was like, but that's more for the obviously nostalgia than the like not in the context of this album.
Because in Australia there was like I spoke to like 4 people who were like, she's the best person ever. Like I absolutely love her. And I was like, where has all this like how have I missed this for all these years? I mean, I will say in interviews, like she's been fantastic. Like she's obviously a very nice, like genuine person.
But it's kind of
impressive given she was famous so early.
That is true. It's kind of like the High School Musical thing though. Like if they announced a tour, you would get a subset of people who would go crazy just for the nostalgia element.
Yeah. But why is this like same affection not being shown to Miley Cyrus? Is it because she has been like present the whole time since then. Like, do you think if she went away for 10 years and then came back with something beautiful, people would have freaked out about it?
Yeah, I honestly do. And I also
Yeah.
think that Hilary Duff was kind of like a darling. Like, she was quite a like girl next door type. Whereas like Miley in
Right.
interviews, I love her to bits. She doesn't come across as a girl next door darling. She
No.
comes across as a really strong, like, independent woman, whatever. I don't know.
She
I'm
comes
not
across as a
trying to
pop
say.
star. That's what she
Yeah,
is.
exactly. She
Yeah.
comes across as a pop star rather
Yeah.
than, yeah. I'm
Which
not
I
trying to say
abs-
Hilary Duff isn't strong or independent or whatever. Let's move on.
Yeah. Okay. The final record that we're going to talk about is Hemlock Springs,
Yeah.
who has released her debut album From Under the... Can you tell me what it's called? I can't see anything.
The Apple Tree Under the Sea.
That's it. Hemlock has kind of like built up a pretty steady following online. She had like a couple viral tracks, including Girlfriend, like very early on in the piece. And now she finally delivers this album. What I think is so interesting about Hemlock Springs is very early on in her career, she was introduced to the producer Burns, who at the time had just worked on Chromatica with Lady Gaga, and they really hit it off. And now, like, he is the main producer on this album, and it's just nothing like what he usually produces. But he brings this kind of like really like stadium ready pop vibe to it that just really works with Hemlock's really just kind of alternative oddball vibe that she's got. And that's what really elevates this album to me. I think it is so entertaining from start to finish. And the end of it, like Be the Girl, is just such a good song, I think. And the way that she is just not afraid to go into like the really cheesy aspect when the like kind of choir kicks in at the end and all that. Like it's just a really fun album. I think that it has like elements of Chapel Roan, like The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess in it too. I really like it. I'm very intrigued to hear where you land on this.
I mean, bonkers. This is a bonkers.
Yeah, it's
fucking
bonkers.
album. But I do like Hemlock. I think you introduced me to her before, and I'd never heard of her. I really like Head, Shoulders, Knees, and Ankles, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I also like Be the Girl. I think for me, it just maybe is too experimental as an album on the whole. I probably could do with a few more Be the Girls into like sprinkled in so that it's maybe more like easy to digest, because it jumps from, it's almost like being in a Halloween club night. Like it really jumps around from like dark and cheesy and like jarring at points.
It's very short too, so it happens quite rapidly.
Yeah. But it is really fun and experimental. And I think Chapel even said that Hemlock was one of her favorite artists at the moment. So your Chapel
that makes a lot of sense, I think. Yeah, I interviewed her like very early on, a couple years ago now. And she was just so charming, but so odd. And I just really feel that all over this album. Like it is just such a true embodiment of her personality. And I understand, I think that this could really piss a lot of people off, this album. And I absolutely love that. Like I'm just really here for the way that it just throws everything at the wall. And it's just like this real technicolor collision of things. I think it's fun. And to be honest, for me right now, top 2 albums of the year is Yabba and this, like by quite a considerable margin. In fact, I can't even think of anybody else who would test them.
I
Remember
also
that year when at this point we had like Ariana, Eternal Sunshine, we had Tortured Poets, we had Cowboy Carter, like so much.
I know. I also think Hemlock is a critic styling. I mean, Harry's my favorite album of the year so far, obviously. And
really?
Well, what else would be next to it?
But like over those, I just
no. But those are both critics' piece of art kind of albums. Like they're not ones that I'm, in terms of my favorites, I'm not going to rinse either of them. I'll rinse
Yeah.
probably 2 or 3 of Hemlock songs in the first 4 of Yep's album, and then switch back to Harry's
No,
album.
you won't. You're going to love it. We're going to be talking about her at the end of the year.
Well, Bruno Mars will be my second top album, and then no, I'm joking.
Shut up. I'm going to hang up. You know what I did do? I saw Bad Bunny twice.
Oh
in a
my
row.
God. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know how I know? Because I saw it on your TikTok. He looked you right in the eyes.
So it was crazy. So like we went the first night and we were in the crowd and it was a phenomenal experience. Like the way that he starts the show, he starts it with all the like more traditional kind of like Puerto Rican leaning songs. And so he's got the full band up there and he's like in a suit and everybody was like salsa dance. I've got like goosebumps thinking about it now. He's like salsa dancing. Everyone around us was salsa dancing and the vibe was just so beautiful from start to finish. Honestly, when he plays like DTMF, like towards the end, there was this guy behind me who was filming and just tears streaming down his face. Like it was just such a nice experience. And I left that first night being like, I would go 100 times. The next night we went and we had tickets like right beside the stage. So we were like, we were basically on the stage.
Oh, here we go.
And
Back to
it
your
was-
down to earth sense.
It was such an overwhelming experience that I honestly enjoyed the first night so much more because I was so stressed the whole time. And every time he came close, it was like, oh my God. And then like at one point, he was just literally looking us in the eye. I was like, this is a totally surreal experience. And I just couldn't take it in. It was very bizarre.
Where were you?
It was in Sydney at this NG Stadium at Homebush. I'd never been there before. It's like where they do like the wood chopping at the Easter show. That's such a niche reference for anybody who's not Australian or lives in Sydney.
But now I know exactly what you're talking about. That's crazy.
Yeah, but 40,000 people. It's the biggest show for a Latin artist in Australia ever.
Because I was going to say, I'm surprised it's even touring in Australia because I just feel like
Well, the Super Bowl changed everything for him because pre-Super Bowl, it was very easy to get tickets. And then literally within a day, they all sold out. And everybody was talking about him being there. So it was really cool. I'm so glad that I got to see him. To think we got that album in January of this year and now we're like putting Harry in the conversation of best albums of the year.
I'm happy, going back to Bad Bunny, I'm happy that you saw him though. You've been such a like proponent, like, was that the right word?
Yeah, champion of him.
Champion of him, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was really cool to
glad.
see.
Well,
Very
you were
cool.
there where the wood chopping was, and you could have probably chopped his wood off because I've seen him swinging it around. It's ginormous.
There were complaints from some around us that the shorts were too long on our
He probably
nights.
got a black eye.
The best part about it is that you pay like almost $400 to be like on the stage, which I actually thought was quite good compared to like other concerts where you pay like $900 to be front row. But he plays half of the show in the casita, which is at the back of the stadium. So basically for the people who've paid the least money to be there, which I think is totally purposeful.
I love
and really
that.
cool that he does it. But it's quite funny that you like pay all this money to be on the stage and he's not even on the stage for half of it.
That is so iconic. I always think about artists and how they should do that, and he's played on it. Oh.
Yeah, he's great. Whereas Harry Styles been charging a lot of money for his concerts. But anyway,
Oh
let's
God,
move
how
on.
many jumps have you had?
Bruno wouldn't. Bruno's just playing in Vegas for the end of his life.
All right, what do these Instagram questions do to ask?
Okay.
I'm hogging the kitchen. Harry's going to be hangry in 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, this has been quite a long episode. I'm sorry. We had a lot to catch up on.
No, it's fine.
Okay. A lot of these are just statements about the Harry Styles album.
What do your followers
Oh my God, we
think?
didn't discuss one like really important one. Charli
What?
XCX.
Oh my
Wuthering
god.
Heights.
We've completely missed it. I mean, I feel like it's quite obvious what we think.
I mean, yeah, I think we can just say quickly, I really like this album. I think that
Same.
it's like the production's amazing. It's probably the most cohesive record that she's ever released. But it seems to have been by design a record to refresh Brat in terms of just like clear everybody's mind and be like, let's start again in a couple years' time, because it's already faded from sight, basically. And I think that was the point of it. I think the fans will really love it forever. But yeah, it's almost like completely been forgotten about, I think.
Actually, that would be my second album of the year. That would be
Yeah, but
Charlie
me
and
too,
Harry would be
actually,
my
it's up
top
there.
two.
It's
Dying for
a
You.
really beautiful album.
Also, how does she get Sky in the with the mic? She's just got Sky Ferreira in the studio. She's a witch. I don't know how she gets any of this stuff.
Twice. It's crazy.
Also, what about Kylie's? Have you seen Kylie's clip in the moment? I can't stop watching it. She actually deserves an Oscar.
She nails it.
She's
nails
so
it. Good in it.
Every time I've watched it, probably more times than I've listened to Wuthering Heights, because I can't stop. I'm addicted.
I thought it was really interesting what somebody said, that in the moment, all of the actors in it are very aware of the camera. Like, that's the point of it, that they're aware that they're in kind of like a documentary style thing. And Kylie completely ignores the camera. And I thought that was such an interesting like difference, in that she's so used to being in the spotlight that she doesn't even notice when there's like a documentary camera on her. You know, like she was just so...
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool.
Although she does look at it once, because people made fun of her being like terrible actress. She looked at the camera and everyone was like, no, that's the whole point.
But that's literally the point of it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Anyway, let me ask you some of these questions. The first one is it better for Charli to be niche or to be a main pop girl?
Honestly, whatever she wants. I feel like she's
feel the
wanted to
same.
be both, and she's done both successfully.
It also doesn't matter, because I don't think it changes the way she moves musically. The
No,
fact
she's
that she
too
put out
smart.
Wuthering Heights after Brat shows to me that like she doesn't care.
Yeah, and I don't think she should. I think she definitely wanted to be seen as a main pop girl to basically prove she could do it, and now she has. I don't think she'll ever care if she meets that level of fame again.
Yeah, I agree with you. Okay, the next question is
Good question,
Grammys
though.
predictions for them. Do you think any have Grammy potential?
For
I
what?
think there's only two. Do you think that any of these albums have Grammy potential?
Oh, that we've spoken about?
Yeah.
Oh, what do you think?
I think Bruno and Harry, obviously. But I will say, I think that if Harry's streams and stuff continue to fall like they are and he doesn't manage to get another hit, I actually think that there is a world in which he's not nominated in the main categories.
Yeah. I don't even know if he will. Bruno won't be nominated for album. I think he'll be nominated for pop vocal.
I mean, never count out Bruno. I think Bruno has more favor with the Grammys than Harry does, to be honest.
Yeah.
I Just Might is doing really well. I Just Might is doing a lot better than Aperture. So I feel like maybe that could be
maybe.
record and song of the year.
It's just so short.
I mean, this is my opinion on what the Grammys is going to do. If it were up to me,
I know. Yeah.
I'd be clearing both of them out of categories. But
I think
Hemlock Springs is a lock for record of the year for being
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. And I also think Charli doesn't really have a shot in the main categories with Wuthering Heights.
No. I would love if I Think I'm Gonna Die in This House was
record of the year.
Record of the year. Song of the year. An absolute sweep.
Okay, the next question is, why are they all so snooze?
Well, that's your opinion. I feel like you agree, apart from Yebra and Hemlock. No, you actually like quite a few of them.
Yeah. Okay. what was your favorite from each album? I can go first. That my favorite from Harry is Ready Steady Go. My favorite from Bruno is probably Risk It All. My favorite from Yeba is, oh my God, there's a lot, but I think my favorite right now is probably All Right or Different Light. Leanne, I'll say, Leanne's hard. I don't want to be like just pick a single, but I do think Being a Minute is really good.
Yeah.
Hilary Duff, I'll say Weather for Tennis. Hemlock Springs, I'll say Be the Girl.
Okay.
Wuthering Heights,
those are all quite.
I'll say Reminder.
Okay, nice. Oh, they're all good. Okay, Harry Styles. These are just for you, and I'm like, they're also asking me. Harry Styles, I'm gonna say Carla's Song. Bruno, Risk It All. Yeah, but I'm gonna say West Memphis.
So good.
Leanne, Most Wanted, which I know that's the main single, but whatever. Hilary Duff. I'm gonna say Growing Up. And Hemlock Springs, The Head, Shoulders, Knees, and Ankles.
Yeah. What about Charlie?
Charlie, Dying for You, which is pretty
Oh, yeah. So good.
high up there for me.
Okay. This is the last question, but I think it's a good one. What do you think should have been the lead single on Harry's album?
Oh, that is a really good question. I think, okay, my opinion is that Aperture is definitely the correct lead single, but he should have followed it up with a second single of Coming Up Roses, which would have told us before the album was released that it's not just a dance or disco album.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, having heard it, surprisingly, Aperture is the right first single choice. However, I am interested in what would have happened if Ready, Steady, Go went out first.
True.
Because it could have been quite a shocking move to do something that's like so left of center and not so left of center, but like more left of center than anything he's done before.
Yeah.
That would have been interesting. But I do agree that Coming Up Roses, that would have been a really interesting thing to drop second.
Yeah, I kind of like do what Beyonce did with 16 Carriages and what's it called?
And Texas Hold'em.
Texas Hold'em. Just drop two of them that are quite different so people get both.
I was going to say just about this, like having a slow song as a single or an opener to the album. I do like Risk It All being slow as a start to the album in the same way that I love like 1+1 opening Beyonce's 4. Like I think if you can do it well, it's really good.
That's the thing. If you can do a ballad well, like Rihanna does ballads so well. I loved your episode about her singles. I think she does a ballad so well.
It's crazy how many like huge singles she's had.
Insane. We were laughing last night though, or the other night about someone's like, she hasn't released anything since Auntie. And I was like, I think she's released 3 songs since then. They were like, what? And I was like, don't you remember Lift Me Up?
Don't you remember?
Oh, I think the world has deja vu. Then we actually were like, the Smurf song is a bop. Would love it.
I wanted more of the Smurf song influence on the Harry album. Like, if he had one song like that on there.
Well, next album, Hemlock Springs, will be sampling that, I bet. She'll just do some bonkers sample. I love her.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I know that you'll have some opinions on the albums that we've discussed, so feel free to comment under the podcast or wherever you are able to. Don't forget to follow or subscribe to the Pop Pod. Otherwise, we will see you next week for an episode that we haven't discussed yet, but we will figure it out.
Yeah. Also, thanks for the questions. That was fun. So maybe we can try and do that again.
Keep sending in questions.
Yeah.
All right. Goodbye. Thank you.